Next on Worcester News tonight, a Central Mass town mourns the death of a well-known doctor who was known for giving back. Plus, safety concerns are prompting a local police chief to ask bar owners to close their doors earlier at night. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Tim McCone. People around Central Mass are mourning the death of Dr. Arthur Pappas. The well-known physician and former Red Sox team doctor died Tuesday. The community of Auburn is now especially remembering the man who never forgot about his roots. The town of Auburn is mourning the loss of one of their biggest community members. Dr. Arthur Pappas passed away Tuesday at the age of 84.
I don't believe there are many people in Auburn who don't know Dr. Arthur Pappas, and the contributions that he's made to this community really left a print on the town.
Our heroes are very much within our own communities, and I think our truest heroes are those that go and do for others, but they don't look for anything in return. He was never the type of man that looked for accolades for his generous donations.
Pappas worked as a doctor for the Red Sox and had a successful career at the University of Massachusetts Medical School.
He's the father of surgery in Worcester and did the first operation on the first child at what was then UMass Medical Center. I think it was in 1976, and he's from the area.
The Pappas has donated more than $760,000 to increase the size of the gymnasium at Auburn High School, which is where Dr. Arthur Pappas went to high school himself.
His humility, when so many people in his position don't have that trait, that's something that's very admirable and something that me as a leader, both here and in our community, is something I'll always carry with me.
In 2011, the Dr. Arthur and Dr. Martha Pappas Recreation Complex opened in Auburn. The couple donated $1 million towards the park's construction.
He went beyond making a donation. He didn't just make a donation. He put his heart and soul into the town and into whatever project he was supporting.
Well, recent incidents at bars in Oxford have the town considering moving closing time up an hour. The Board of Selectmen discussed the issue this week with the police department. Our Andy Madison has reaction from bar owners.
Main Street in Oxford is calm during the day, but on weekends, late at night, Selectman Dennis LaMarche says it's a different story.
A lot of commotion, a lot of fighting, people being arrested for intoxication. I mean, there was one instance where a guy is clocked doing 110 down Route 12 just trying to get here to get that last drink.
In Oxford, last call is at 2 a.m., an hour later than when the bars close in neighboring towns. It has made Oxford a popular place for the bar crowd.
Last call, getting kicked out of Webster, Dudley, and the remaining towns, including Auburn, and then, hey, let's go to the one bar that's open in Oxford, and then all issues break loose.
Issues leading the town to suggest the bars should change closing time to 1 a.m. J. Anthony's Italian Grill is one of the 4 bars open until 2. The owner is not against changing the time.
It really doesn't affect our establishment much, but for remaining bars like in Oxford, it will hurt because, I mean, they do get substantial business in that last hour.
Town officials say most of the issues have come from Days End Tavern. Their owner said, quote, "I applaud and support any and all actions which makes our community safer. However, I am not convinced that shifting the closing time to 1 a.m. will have the expected effect. I am fearful that we will now have people leaving Oxford drinking establishments rushing to catch last call in the Worcester clubs, which are less than 15 minutes away, and then rushing back to the center of Oxford to congregate with friends, as has been their ritual now for over 20 years.
You gotta look at, public safety, some of the neighbors getting that commotion at 2 in the morning. It's just not needed.
Andy Madison, Worcester News Tonight.
Turning to the latest on the deadly terror attacks in Belgium. Right now, 12 Americans are among those injured in the explosions at the airport and train stations in Brussels. An American couple who live there are still missing. Justin and Stephanie Schultz were at the airport, but their family has not heard from them. When it comes to the investigation, authorities are working to track down the lone bombing survivor. This as they question a 4th individual who may be connected to the terrorist attack. The attackers set off explosives just inside the airport right before the security checkpoint. Now, many people, including airport employees, are raising concerns about security at airports across the country, including Boston Logan International. John Maroney has the latest.
I don't know that continually increasing more and more security would make a difference.
Air travel a bit more unsettling following the attacks in Belgium, especially since the blasts at the airport happened in the terminal and not on a plane. This family is just back from London, where heightened security was evident.
I did notice some extra armed security at Heathrow.
State police here in Massachusetts increased visibility at transportation hubs in the wake of the overseas assaults. And airlines like JetBlue, the largest carrier at Logan, say they're working to keep their passengers safe.
We're not able to get into specifics, obviously, but we've been in touch with the security authorities over the last few days. We're following their advice very closely, and we're confident in the advice we're getting.
Given what happened and where, the people who work in airports may now be on the front lines in the battle against terror. These Logan employees were at the State House this morning. They're demanding higher wages, but they want to feel safe too.
The problem can happen anywhere, any places. So our hope is that in prayer will not happen again here, either in Boston or in any another state.
The suspected Belgian bombers are thought to have walked right into the terminal without any problems, raising questions about whether additional screening measures are needed before air travelers reach official security checkpoints.
I don't think that a little more being done would hurt.
State police are responsible for security in the public spaces at the airport, but the TSA says it helps out when needed. In Boston, at Logan, I'm John Maroney for Worcester News Tonight.
Meanwhile, we're hearing from a Sutton native who was in the airport at the time of the blasts. 19-year-old Monica Hall and 2 other students from Connecticut's Quinnipiac University are currently studying abroad in Ireland. They were inside of the airport on their way to London for an Adele concert when the explosions went off just 50 feet away.
When the first bombs went off and we were running, I had my bag with me for probably like 5 or 10 seconds of the commotion, and then I tried to start picking up speed and running, and I realized that just wouldn't work, and my bags weren't important enough to get me killed.
Hall says she lost everything but her ID, airplane tickets, and a camera. Once the girls got out of the airport, they took a car to the U.S. Embassy. Massachusetts State Police are investigating a fundraising scam in Tewksbury involving fallen State Trooper Thomas Clardy. They got at least one report of someone going door to door asking for donations for the children of Trooper Clardy. He was killed last week after his cruiser was struck by a vehicle on the Mass Pike. This woman even caught the suspects in the act.
That really makes me mad. I mean, you know, we have enough problems in the world today without having people being scammed like that. There's enough of them out there, and to go around and for something like that, that's somebody's family that you're trying to exploit.
Now, the 2 official funds set up for the Clardy family are the Clardy Children's Fund and the Greg Hill Foundation. Neither are going door to door to solicit donations. Well, the mild winter was certainly a delight to many here in New England, but it has brought some unwanted ramifications. Chair of the Department of Medicine at the University of Massachusetts and UMass Memorial Healthcare, Robert Finberg, tells us the warm weather is a contributing factor in the extended flu season. Now, normally flu season peaks in January, but this year it started in February, and he expects it to last at least another 4 weeks. Finberg says it's not too late to take precautions against the flu.
It's important to get vaccinated. The vaccine this year is approximately 60% effective. It takes about 2 weeks for maximal results. We predict there will be at least a month more of the season. Therefore, people who are not vaccinated should get the vaccine.
Finberg says the effectiveness of the vaccine varies from year to year, and this year's appears to be more effective than last year's.